There you go. Wait,
Cool.
we didn't even. All right. Well, at
All
least
right,
we're recording.
hello everybody. Welcome on into the TBT Tavern. I am your co-host, the Wandering Anbu. I'm joined by the ever lovely, humble, sexy SilverBlazeX. Um,
Stop. Okay, keep going. Tell me more.
and we are here to talk about Gladiator 2, the sequel that I don't know anybody predicted to happen, to the Ridley Scott, Russell Crowe epic pick Gladiator. Um, so sit back, come on in, grab your mead, make sure that you've got your tabs set up, and we'll go ahead and get you right on in. How do we want to start it? Do you want to just do a brief synopsis, or what do you think?
I think you
If
should because here's the thing. I saw Gladiator 2 on my flight to Japan about a month ago now. I need a refresher because you just saw this, right?
like two
Correct?
weeks
At least.
ago.
Oh my God.
Okay,
What?
I
What?
I think I've
Here
got
we
the
go.
gist of it. So here we go. So I'm gonna keep it
We're
as generic as
professional
possible.
podcasters, okay, chat? We're professional podcasters, all right?
Okay,
Relax.
so how about this? So the movie takes place 16 years after Marcus Aurelius's death. Marcus Aurelius um, was Russell Crowe's character, the Are You Not Entertained dude who was trying to take down Joaquin Phoenix. It's his character, the Emperor, but I forget what the Emperor's name is. And it takes place where we go to um, the African kingdom of Numidia. It's here we meet a man that is known by the name of Hano, and he's simply doing some, farming with his wife, Arashat. And what happens is we see Rome's fleet coming in to take over the city. I hope you don't hear that in the background because my one of the ninja cats is trying to come in and trying to
No,
open the
I heard nothing.
door. Good. But
We heard nothing.
also the thing to know about this is during this time Rome is in turmoil because they're ruled by two emperors who just love to party and are idiots. They're legitimately just like idiots. Honestly, they are
Two
cruel.
spoiled children.
They are
Yep.
legitimately. It's like if you gave the key your house to two kids and said, "Here you go, don't mess up my house," and then they proceed to mess up the house.
Oh yeah.
Um, so the
With very
Roman lead
fragile egos.
seriously no very fragile. You'll learn later on in the story. So the Roman fleet is led by General Cassius, who is played by the ever wonderful, amazing human Pedro Pascal, and
Our favorite.
yes, and basically he overtakes Numidia, and Hano is captured along with the general. His wife was murdered, which sets up the big revenge plot that Hano wants to murder Acacius because Acacius was the one that had his wife killed, and he saw her float down the river Styx. He is then he is then put in. He's basically taken from Numidia, brought to Rome, and he is sold as, I believe, a slave, but could be turned into a gladiator. And then he is bought by the character that Denzel Washington plays, which is
Which is what? Oh, his character? Macronus?
Macronus,
Yes.
who has him basically um, tested to see if he can fight because he has potential or whatever. Because like he watches him in the Colosseum after Acacius returns, because some of the people who survived the fight in Numidia are made to
At
fight in
here.
the Colosseum to celebrate
Mhm.
the overtaking of the city by Acacius, and they have to fight these weird monkeys that are terrible.
Weird
And
monkeys.
Macronus was like, "Oh, I want to buy him."
Oh, the
And
baboons. That's right,
yeah,
right? The
yeah, the
baboons,
baboons.
the weird
Yeah.
rabied looking baboons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, of course, like that all happens, but we start to see more things start to unravel. Like, for example, Acacius wanting to stop fighting. He's served Rome for the longest time. Everyone loves him. I'm pretty sure if he overthrew the Roman Empire, everybody would fall in line and be like, fuck yeah, General Acacius, because you rule. Um, and he's told, no, too bad. You're going to actually have to go to Persia because now you need to conquer Persia for us. While the emperors are throwing yet another party because they're
They're
just spoiled.
they're just spoiled children just
Yeah.
throwing parties while Bobby Pascal is basically just gaining territory in the name of Rome.
Yeah. So what we find out then is that Acacius is married to who is the lady that he is married to? I'm forgetting the name. Oh, Lucilla, who we find
Lucilla.
out later is sorry for the spoiler alert if you haven't watched this movie, it's been out for a while, okay, is actually Hano's mother,
There you go.
because she was the one that was with Marcus Aurelius, and she tried to hide with their kid. She was on the run, and then what happened
Yeah.
was the Roman Empire was trying to find him because he was the rightful prince of Rome, and she didn't want that for him. So she made him run, and that's when he fled to Numidia, and then he became a whole new person, had the name Hano, etc., etc. So, he's got some mommy and daddy issues. Like, he's mad at his dad, he's mad at his mom because she abandoned him.
Yeah.
And also, he's mad at Acacius because he murdered his wife. This dude is basically like, everyone I love around me that is supposed to love me has abandoned me or been killed. So, I've got
So
nothing
I'm
left
just
to
gonna kill
lose.
everybody.
Yeah,
So I'm
pretty
just gonna
much.
bring the whole house down. Yeah.
Yeah. So Macrinus sees this and then tries to use it for his power play by saying, "I will give you whatever you want, if you help me to topple the empire, basically, like to help me got to gain my power." And Hano's like, "Bruh, I'm not like your stepping stone or your pole. I'm not gonna help you. I fight for no one but myself. I want revenge. My wife is dead. Let me murder Acacius because that's what I'm here for. Like, I could die after
Yeah.
this and I wouldn't care." Um, and also what we find out, which honestly, now that I think about it, this story is kind of like crazy with a lot of moving parts. We find out, everybody,
It
that
does.
Acacius is actually building a coup. He has some soldiers that are willing to go with him to basically to seize power from the emperors, to basically right Rome, because nobody likes these emperors. They are just terrible,
They're
terrible
too
people.
warlike. They're too spoiled. They're children basically running Rome, and they just keep sending Pedro Pascal out there to like cause
Yeah.
terror, right? And not only are they, I mean, they are governing, they are taking over land, but at the same time, it is costing a lot of Roman lives. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't guarantee, even though there's being successful, it's costing them. It's costing them soldiers, right? It's costing them Roman soldiers, and I think at some point Pedro Pascal mentions it. I'm sorry, General Arcasius. Acacius, sorry,
No,
he
you're
says
good.
that it's causing the loss of a lot of Roman
Yeah.
citizens just because Emperor Geta and Emperor Caracalla or
Thank you. Yeah.
Caracalla, yeah,
Caracalla, I think.
uh, uh, they just they just want to party and show off that their empire is growing, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy, man. It's crazy. So that, yeah, you're right. Just like Ambu said at the beginning, right? There are people that would follow General Cassius, and they do. They do.
Yeah.
He sets up like armies
Yeah.
uh to help him take over. But then what happens?
So basically, over
Lucius,
time.
right? Uh-huh.
Oh, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say Lucius. Is that the name of the guy? Lucius, the Sasuke?
Well, I mean, we find out his real name later, because they mention his real name as Lucius Verus Aurelius. So Lucius Verus Aurelius, it's his real name, but he
Right.
goes by Hano because
I don't know.
he basically thinks that his lineage, like his
Right.
family abandoned him. They're dead to me. Basically, he gets put into another round of the Colosseum games. This is one where they're on boats. Usually, this is when they're showing off the capability of the Roman army to like instill fear, but also just celebrate games. And during this time, Lucius or Hano almost murders Acacius because he gets like a bow and arrow and almost gets him, but gets stopped by one of the
Yeah.
Praetorians because like he gets hit and the arrow goes somewhere else. Um,
Mm.
but it, so I'll just try to run through this real quick. I promise y'all it'll be like 2 minutes. Long story short, Lucilla realizes who he is and decides to go see him. It's like, "Oh my god, you're my son. Oh no." And he's just like, "You're dead to me. Why would my my mother left me and abandoned me, so she's gone. I
Yeah.
consider her dead. And then she's like, but don't forget your lineage. And he's just like, whatever, like, you're not my mom. This isn't my dad, whatever, life goes on. Macronus, meanwhile, in the background, is setting up his power play because he actually bribes a another senator because he won his bets because of Hano. He's like, give me information because information is power. He knows what he's doing. He's taking what he can because in this day and age, it's not about the money. That's not the currency that you want. It's information to gain power. So he finds out about Acacius's plot to commit a coup and actually murders most, not all, the soldiers that he got, and forces Acacius to be in the Colosseum to fight. And what that turns into is he has to like fight in the Colosseum, and he's actually winning. He's just like, I know what I'm doing. I can win.
Mm.
And then as he almost beats Hano, because he beats Hano to where the crowd decides his fate. He throws his sword down, I think, and then almost Hano's ready to kill him. He's ready to take the head off. He's got both their swords. He's doing the slow motion thing you see in the commercials, about to take his head off. And then they connect and they bond somehow. Like, it's just decided, hey, like, we both don't like the emperors. Rome fucking sucks. I get you. I know who you are and I love your mother. And he's just like, but my mother, and then tries to save him. And then the emperors have Cassius killed by the Praetorian bowmen who are in the Colosseum. So he dies in front of Lucius, who uses this moment to say, like, is this how Rome treats its heroes? Like, he was a great man. He served you. He did all of this. Starts a riot in Rome. And then, again, Macrinus uses this moment to be like, oh, we'll get this all sorted, everything else. I think, which one does he kill? It's not, it's just, he kills Geta because he helps the Caracalla to seize power because he complains about how Geta...
Yeah, Macrinus basically turns the emperors against each other by creating doubt, right? And I think it's Geta who bites, and I think he stabs Caracalla or
No.
Caracalla.
Geta's the one that gets killed because that's Joseph Quinn's character.
Oh, Geta's the one that gets killed, stabbed by Caracalla. Okay.
Yeah, so...
But ultimately, freaking Macrinus, dude. Like, that dude was playing 4D chess, man. Like, he set everything up so well where he wouldn't be seen as the bad guy. Just kind of like the messenger and the person that was helping the emperors, and he ended up setting himself up so high up there, right? And because at some point even Macrinus was a slave, right? His early in the movie we find out that he shared with Lucius his history, that he also Macrinus fought in the Colosseum as well, right? I think he was a gladiator.
No.
Or was he just a slave?
He was a slave, and
Just slave.
So what he did, which was the big twist, was he had Lucille arrested as part of the coup that was done by Acacius, because he's like, she had to have known, and the reason why he did that was because he was like, I was a slave to your father, and your father ruled by emotion, I rule on logic. So he was like, I'm getting revenge on you for your dad and what he did to me. You see how, like, I went from being your dad's slave to royalty.
Yeah.
So, which leads inevitably to them putting her in the Colosseum, Lucius accepting who he is, and then symbolically taking his dad's armor out of the Colosseum, and then tries to save her, even though she dies. Like, all the gladiators are behind him, and he's like leading this revolution, this change. And then I forget who kills Caracalla. Someone kills him, and then I think it was Macrinus kills him, because Macrinus...
I think Macrinus is the one that kills him in a way where nobody can see what happened.
Yeah, oh, that's right. He did do that. You're right. Because he was like, hand me the bow or something like that. and then killed him, or hand me something, and then oh no, he did that to Lucille, and then he did something. You're right, to Caracalla, but it leads to a show off where um, Lucius tells a friend of his that he's made through the Colosseum, show this ring to this general who is with Acacius, let him know that I'm here and that he should follow so we can like save Rome. And then that guy does, which then leads into like, you know, all the citizens are in uproar because of Lucille's death. They're like, Lucius is like saying, I'm taking the lead, and then inevitably he fights Macrinus and kills him, and then he becomes the one that says like, we can build Rome together, and everybody's like, yeah, and
Yeah.
there you go, there's the end.
The end. Uh, no, but
But
the movie, it does have so many moving pieces. Now that I think
yeah,
about it, I mean, we have again Macrinus just laying down the entire like play mat, and being biding his time, being patient,
yeah,
setting things up. Obviously, Lucius has his own. Oh, I'm sorry. What's the name? What's his or other name?
he goes by Hano at the beginning, and then we find out
Oh no.
He's Lucius Verus Aurelius.
Yeah, so he has his own agenda too. He wants to kill Pedro
Mm-hmm.
Pascal, right? General Acacius. But then General Acacius is not a bad person, and
No.
at the beginning he's kind of seen as like a general that's trying to take over this land, and he kills so many people, but like he doesn't want to. Like you could like later on it shows that a General Acacius actually is done. Like he doesn't want to go to war anymore. He doesn't want to conquer all these lands. He just kind of wants to be with his wife. He wants all that killing, all that fighting to end. And again, that leads to him trying to set up also another game board. Like everybody had their own game board. Everybody showed up to the
Mm-hmm.
party with their own game boards, except that in my opinion, Macrinus had the bigger one. You know,
Yeah.
Macrinus had the bigger one, and everybody else came in on top of it. His game board to play their own game, but uh,
Yeah.
he ended up losing his own game, and that tends to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
You know,
He was the one that bought the answers for the test that everybody went to, and then he thought he was so good that like they wouldn't guess that he had cheated. But then you find out at the end that he did cheat because there's some telltale signs. Like he was good, but
yeah.
he was too vain, too egotistical to think that he could
At the
fail.
end, he had been doing good, but he let that vanity kind of be
Yeah,
his downfall.
I think once he honestly had the power, he let it get to him to where he's like, now I have the power,
Did
and then like that ruined him.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because he had it. He was good. He was winning.
yeah,
He was winning. He had it. He had it all down, man.
yeah,
Hell, maybe if he hadn't been too ambitious and he just kind of led General Acacius rule, he probably would have still been ended up in a good spot. That's still like profitable to him and still be able to end up. I mean, yeah, I feel like that would have been a much safer bet for Macrinus, honestly. Had he like played ball with General Acacius, I think he would have ended up on top with no issues because he had already laid the ground to get rid of the emperors. And then that would have just left things for General Acacius to take over and rule better.
yeah. Well, like my whole thing, as much as I like
You know?
Macronus and I like the political plays, like the backhanded stuff that he did, the like morally questionable things, is like I feel like he could have been much swifter with the way that he sees power. I mean, the way that he was already
Yeah.
gaining reputation and everything. Like, I feel like the movie wanted to build him up as being like this very, like, I'm 5 steps ahead of you kind of character,
Mhm.
and then he's
Yeah.
undone by his own folly. Kind of like it's kind of like he represents the story of Icarus, where he kept
Oh,
getting closer and closer to the sun, and then he got too close to the sun when he fought Lucius, and then he fell. Like I felt like that's kind of like the way that they
yeah.
kind of the analogy I would use. He literally was building it up. He had it down. You could see the like machinations in his head like working to get him there. And like you said, I think he just went too hastily at the end because he was like, no, I have to do this now. I have to make this play. Because I think he could have used Lucius's overthrow to actually do it better for him. He could have made it look
Yeah.
like the Emperor took the shot on Lucille, his mother, and then could have stabbed him and made it look like he was trying to stop him, but it was too late, and then use that to as a stepping stone. But he went full bad guy at the end, and that resulted in his
He did.
downfall.
He did. He went full bad guy. He got to oh my god. What's the name of that movie where Denzel Washington is Training Day? He went Training Day, man. He
Yeah.
went to he went to King Kong ain't got on me. You know,
Yeah.
he went too crazy, man. He committed too much to the bit. He went too far.
Yeah.
Bring it down, Denzel. Bring it down.
But like, if there's one critique I gotta say about this movie, and I feel like I have this critique about a lot of movies about like overthrowing governments, is Lucius doesn't know what he's gonna do for the government. Like, I feel like anytime we see a movie with revolutions, I always find myself asking, what is your
Uh-huh.
next step? Yes, I feel great that you ended like this terrible reign from Geta, Caracalla, and now Macrinus, because who knows what he would have done. But like, how are you gonna change things? Because I feel like that's never really a question. And I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe I'm kind of being too like nitpicky in a sense of like it's a feel good movie,
No,
Ambu, just enjoy it. But like,
it's not a feel good movie though. It's a lot of
no, it's
killing,
definitely
guys.
not.
But
But
no, you make a valid point. Here's the thing, like a lot of in history and there's always been like the underdog that overtakes the government, like you said. But nobody ever talks about like the days after the overtaking, like because sometimes they don't even have a plan. All they know is that they didn't like, let's say, they didn't like the kingdom the way that the king was ruling it, right?
mm-hmm,
Taxes were too high, right? And the people overthrow the kingdom, they kill the king, they kill the queen, they kill the princesses, whatever, right? And now who rules, right? Yeah,
mm-hmm,
we overthrew it. Now who's in charge? I don't know. Well, Bob is the one that stabbed the king. Yeah,
yeah,
shouldn't Bob be the new king? Well, we don't want to have kings anymore. Well, why not? Like Bob killed them, so he deserved it. Shouldn't he be king? And now we have like
yeah.
infighting, right? Because they had no plan. All they know is that they didn't like something. And next thing you know, probably that kingdom goes to shit because maybe the king was like taxing them a lot of money, but the taxing was going to fund, let's say, the army that kept other countries from invading. So now those countries start
Mm-hmm.
invading and taking over and splitting that country apart because now there's no army. Maybe those taxes were being used to make sure that there was a economy that was still being stimulated. So farmers were being paid and like it was moving crops. And now who's paying the farmers? Right? Like now, if, especially if there's no kingdom now, as a farmer, you're like, I'm just gonna take care of me. I'm not gonna take care of anybody else, right?
Yeah.
Uh, merchants are probably gonna leave also because they're like, I'm not gonna mess around with a city that takes out a king. Like, there's a lot of violence here. I'm gonna take my business elsewhere. So now there's no more merchants. Ultimately, I guess my point is, you're right. Like, if you try to take over a country without, or like a kingdom without a plan, essentially you're putting the kingdom and the people in a worse state than it currently was in. Even
Yeah.
though it was bad, at least those bad people had a plan.
I
Granted, it
mean,
could have been taking over and
yeah.
their plans were selfish, but there was a plan. And now you're like, all right, so what do we do now? And yeah,
Because like I'm reading,
go
so
ahead.
I'm reading a book right now, where that's
Ambu
literally,
reads books,
I
guys.
know, right? And in
Hot take.
the sequel is literally them going like, "What the fuck do we do now?" They overthrew the king that was tyrannical. Like taxes are at all time high. People are starving.
There you
Money
go.
is
There it
worthless.
is.
But they're like, we don't know what to do now. Like,
There it
there
is.
we've got a religious
Yeah.
cult that we have to deal with that is closing in on us.
Oof.
We've got
Yeah, there you go. I didn't
like
even think about the
yeah,
religious sides. Yeah.
we've got like villages that have been waiting for this moment now, wondering can they strike because we look weak. Like there's all these things where
There
it's
you
like,
go. Yeah.
there's
See?
all these factors. Like I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they should have kept what was going, but like, it feels like a lot of people.
But General Acacius had a plan.
I
Like
agree.
they literally killed the guy that would have been the better ruler, that had like a vision for the country, a peaceful one,
Yeah,
and had actual values. But
yeah.
they killed them. They killed them. I don't even know. Like if we probably I mean that may hell. That's why I guess maybe Rome had a downfall. I don't know. Right?
Well, I do think that civilizations run into a problem where basically they can no longer keep up what they've done because they keep
Yeah.
expanding or they keep utilizing resources, power. Honestly, human nature and having power is a dangerous combo. Because the other thing that I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes happens too is we've seen in history. I can't give you specific stories off the top of my head, but we'll see people who talk about wanting to change things for the better and then they end up being the same thing, just same character but different look. They don't
Yeah.
really change anything. In fact, they make things worse because they're like, oh, this is what power feels like. Oh, I could do this for me now. Like I can
Yeah.
take all this and do what I want, because I know what's better for us. By us I mean me,
Yeah.
and good luck to everybody else. That's kind of how I. That's kind of, yeah, I don't know. Like that's part of what makes it interesting. Is like this movie is, yes, we know that the emperors were bad, but Lucius, you don't know how to lead. So what are you gonna do to really change the country? And
Yeah.
how many of the senators are really gonna back you on this now? You know,
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's not meant to lead. I mean, he was a soldier. That was who he was before that, right?
yeah.
And granted, our Cassius was also to a point a soldier, but he had been leading armies,
Mm-hmm.
so he was a leader,
And he had
And
the
yeah,
people.
and he had the people. People respected him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he really did have the best interest of the people,
Yeah.
of Rome, not just the of his men in the military, but also for Rome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and this other guy, yeah, he even led a group of people because I think at the beginning he is one of the leaders, right?
Like one of the
That leads the
generals of
army.
the
Yeah,
Numidian army. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, just that one army. Wow, like Acacius was leading Rome, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bad call, honestly. The way that it all went down. Macrinus got too greedy. Lucius is too dumb to lead, and they killed Acacius, who would have been the best thing for
Yeah.
that version of Rome.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Should you guys watch Gladiator 2? I think you should. I think that it didn't get enough attention. I think, or it did, but like in a bad way. At least I remember people saying it's like, oh, it's not worth watching. It's not that good. I really enjoyed it. I told Ambu while I was flying to Japan, I was like, man, this movie's really good. I don't think it got like the amount of like attention that it should have gotten, or maybe it did. Maybe it's just me that it skipped me, but I really enjoyed it. It was a good film. At the end of the day, there was action, there was killing. Who doesn't like killing, right? Huh? Anyone?
Oh
Who
my
doesn't
god.
like? Okay, all right, just me. There was romance, there was some love, there was some emotion. There was politics, there was some emotional manipulation. Who doesn't like some good old gaslighting?
Forgiveness.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
yeah, forgiveness.
Well, because think
That's
about it, because like he
there
eventually does.
too.
He does forgive his mother, and in fact, he tries to protect her. And like, I think what we see is a character who, like realizes that he's losing another person that mattered to him. Because we see this in
Yeah.
like the moment when at first he's like very cold to her and like, you abandoned me,
Yeah.
and then later on we see him warm up to her and being like, I want to protect you. He's trying to figure out how to get her out of jail. He's trying to figure out how to protect her, and
Yeah.
then he loses her when he's kind of tried to revamp their relationship. So we do see that kind of forgiveness. We see um, even forgiveness between Acacius and Lucius. I mean, he was ready to murder him for murdering his wife. Could have had his revenge fulfilled, but he there was a moment between him and Acacius that changed his mind. That he decided no. I don't remember it fully. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been a couple weeks. I don't remember what exactly was said, but I think the moment symbolizes that he realizes that Acacius was like his dad, and I think it's like he saw in him what he remembered hearing of his father, and that's why he
Yeah.
chose to let him go, was because he represented, like you said, what Rome could be, and he didn't want to ruin that because that was the embodiment of like the dream of a Rome where the people ruled for the people, and it wasn't
Yeah.
two spoiled brats who were like, got STDs. Like one of them admitted, I think it was Caracalla, and and basically controlled everything and was gluttonous as fuck. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. But
but
yeah, watch the
I
movie. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was gonna say, here's the thing. Is it a movie that I'm gonna sound a little bit I might sound a little bit opposite to you, Silver. So hear me out on this. I
I
feel
like when
like
he's opposite of me.
if you enjoyed Gladiator, and if you enjoy Ridley Scott movies, and if you enjoy movies that have really good action sequences and all that, enjoy it. Have a good time. I don't know if you're gonna miss anything if you're more into like finding stories, because it's a very, I think, stereotypical story of like revenge changed to for the better of people, typical power plays. uh the ending is supposed to be feel good of like, we'll save everybody, but really there's no plan for it.
Yeah.
There's the stereotypical like, you are the lost son of Rome storyline. There's a lot of familiar beats that I just feel like it really wasn't a necessary sequel. If I were to pretend like I wasn't thinking about Gladiator,
Yeah.
the first movie, I feel like then okay, I'd say like, you should definitely go see it. It's fun, worth it, summer blockbuster, here for it. But like, I just don't know if it was needed to be made, personally. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think the movie falls under the same trend that we've been seeing consistently for the last decade now, which is Hollywood just keeps recycling
yeah,
uh IPs. They don't want to create new ideas, and when they do, they don't reward them by giving them the proper attention.
yeah.
Um
Well, cause like,
but
let me
no,
ask you,
I
dude.
agree. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let me ask you, like, if we were to take away the name Gladiator 2, and we would have titled
Mhm.
something else like Lucius, do you think it would have gotten the
Ooh.
same um
No,
marketing?
because it's again what I just said. Like it would have been an original, right? And Hollywood isn't rewarding original.
Yeah,
Like a separate IP, they're not. When anybody tries to do like a separate thing, I don't know why. Instead of rewarding it, or instead of like trying to give it attention, like have new stories, they don't. It's just it's
yeah.
silly. It's
It's just
silly. So no, the
yeah.
answer is no. Before you even finish that, I know where you're going with that. No, I don't. I don't think it would have gotten the attention it would have, because freaking again, Hollywood wants to use things that people know, because for some reason that's like a money grab and that makes sense to them.
I mean,
I don't know why that makes sense to them.
okay, but I think that could actually be a whole other podcast topic about like the brand recognition and
Ooh,
how, because I
I love it.
I mean, I'll give a little bit of a like bait for a
Maybe
future thing.
maybe you'll monologue on a future episode
I
about this,
could,
Alba.
but like, let me
Yeah.
let me let me give a little bit of bait to everybody out there real quick to say this. If you think about it, everybody thinks movie tickets are high. Cost of living is high. Inflation has caused everything to be where it's like, you
Yeah.
have to decide what you want to do. and movie theaters are suffering for it. I mean, that's why movie tickets have gone up.
Yeah.
That's why,
Yeah.
concessions have gone
True.
up and everything else. And realistically, how likely are you going to go see an original movie and take the chance on it than something you're already familiar with, to where you believe you can trust it's going to give you a guaranteed either mid experience or like turn your brain off experience or whatever. Like I think we're just at a stage right now where, because money is so tight and people don't want to spend a lot of money
But
on risky things. I'm just saying.
You're assuming that they're thinking about us. They don't even want to let us decide. They're making that decision for us, and I don't know if that's what's really happening here. I don't think Hollywood is being like, "Oh, let's be considerate of the viewer. Let's let's save their money by like giving them something that
No,
they
no, no.
know."
I'm not saying that they're doing it with good intentions. I'm saying they're doing it because they know they're going to get more money out of us, because they figure it's easier for them to reduce their cost and regurgitate things that we know. And they
Mm,
assume that we're just going to
yeah,
keep taking the same thing over and over again because it's easier to sell you on
you're
that
right.
idea rather
Yeah.
than, on something else. The only thing I've seen that's changed that so far is Sinners,
Mm,
but that's a shot in the dark. Everything else has
yeah.
been, you know,
Try in the
what we know.
dark. Is that a black joke? Just kidding, Umbo. I'm just kidding.
Jesus, bro. Oh my god. But anyway, at the end of the day, I think we're both in a mindset of like, it's a fun movie. Go
Uh,
enjoy it. Have fun. It's not anything like Oscar, whatever. But
it's
just
not
enjoy it.
Oscar worthy. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. Not like the best film ever. But I mean, if it's out there for you to stream, watch it. Definitely. Don't
Yeah.
go waste the money on a ticket. But if it's on Max or on Amazon Prime,
I think it's
oh,
on
I think it
Paramount
is on Amazon
Plus.
Prime, right? Oh,
I
it's on
think
what?
I think it's on Paramount Plus. I think that's
Oh,
how
there
I
you go.
watched it. So if
So
you
if you
have
have
that,
Paramount Plus, watch it, guys. It's a good watch, anyways. It's not the best, but it's a good watch. It's a good little date night movie, maybe.
I mean, if you and your date are into killing, like apparently you are, um, yeah, sure, go for it.
The
I mean,
couple that kills together stays together, guys.
it's a fun action movie. I think it is a fun date movie to like just have fun, watch action sequences, like laugh at the silliness of it at times, and like, you know, spend time together. That's yeah. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you being here, sitting at the table with us, conversing about. Oh no, my computer blacked out.
No,
Shit, my screen blacked out. I can't stop the recording.
I can still see you though. I can still see you.
Dude, no, you can't. I lost signal.
I mean, I can still see you. I can still hear you. Is what I'm gonna say.
I know, but I mean, it's if I shut down, I think I'm gonna lose the file, dude.
Don't no. Let's just end it. All right. And then the way that you're gonna stop recording is you're gonna press the power button.
Yeah, but
Just
wouldn't
let
that
me.
lose the file?
Nah, OBS, maybe. I don't know. Jesus Christ, I have no idea, to be honest with
Okay,
you.
well then, real quick, everybody, have a good night. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to us. If you can see me as I'm like doing this, please leave a comment with us. What's a movie that you find really fun, or what's your opinion on the state of Hollywood and original movie ideas? I don't know. Leave us something. We'll definitely respond to it when we can. Again,
Technical
please
issues, love them.
yeah,
Yeah.
Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, all the things. But we appreciate you all fully. We have a great time with this. We've had a great time. So until next time,
Bye,
take care of
guys.
yourselves. Good night.
Almost on fire. Have a good one.